Welcome to another episode of Until It's Done, a devoted podcast. I'm your host, Dana Lynn Kaye, and today's episode, I am doing I'm answering questions that you guys left me on Instagram. I put up in the story, I put up a little Q&A box, and I just did it this morning, so it's not like a ton came in, but it looks like I have, a handful of questions here, and they're all over the place. It's not just like one topic. It's so funny. So this episode is going to be kind of like just answering these questions that you guys dropped in the box. I told you, ask me anything. Ask me about fitness, devotion, whatever you're interested in. People who follow me see I post all about my life with Greg, my life doing devotion, my life with kids, my life with my dog, all my fitness stuff. I'm always posting about, what I'm eating or cardio, weight training, all the things, and our little excursions, our trips, all that. And so I'm like, okay, well, maybe somebody's wondering what the heck's going on, or you have questions or whatever. And yes, you obviously do. You guys dropped in a lot of fun little questions, and I'm going to try to take my time, answer them the best that I can. So this is kind of just a Q&A. So I'll just start because, like I said, they jump all over the place. And the first things first, which it's like, this is a devotion question. We'd love to hear about the topic of blueberry becoming a permanent addition with a wink. So that's been a hot thing in the world of devotion. The new wild blueberry has been unbelievable. Like, yeah, I ran it as a summer flavor. And I think that some people were really shocked that it was a fruit flavor. We had never done a fruit flavor before for devotion. Everything has always been like cinnamon, caramel, chocolate, like along like those dessert lines. And so when we were giving the clues, we said, oh, this is a flavor this is a flavor profile that devotion's never done before. So people were like, oh my God, what is it? What could this be? And, and then they were really, really like, we threw out all these fun hints, and people were kind of thrown for a loop and guessing all kinds of things all over the place. And when we announced blueberry, it was kind of like a, oh yeah, blueberry. And then they're like, well, and some people were stoked because some people just love blueberry. But when you talk about a fruit flavors can have lots of different flavor profiles. So people weren't really sure what to think. Like, is this a fresh blueberry? Is it, like what does blueberry taste like? Like an artificially, like just blueberry jelly, blueberry, it's like blueberry every fruit can take on a lot of different profiles. So it took a little while for people, they got the trial packs and then people started to cook with it, whatever, and you'd open it up and it smells and tastes like blueberry muffin mix from the box. And that was a really pleasant surprise for people because that's a nostalgic. I mean, if you've ever, and who hasn't, I mean, I know I grew up with my mom buying us the box, the blueberry muffin mix box, and on the weekend, it was the easiest thing to make. You like add an egg and water, you mix it up, and it's like this blueberry muffin mix. You put in the tin, you add the can of blueberries, you can put the crumble topping, and it's like, oh my God, these are so good. And your house smells like blueberries, like blueberry muffins. And it was such a nostalgic scent and flavor profile for me when the lab sent me different versions of blueberry, because I was like, I really want to do like a blueberry. And we did say blueberry muffin, but like I wasn't too sure if they were really going to nail like what I really needed. But when we cracked open the sample that the lab sent for us to try of like, because we take some stabs at like, as we're discovering the flavors, I smelt it and I was like, oh my gosh, this smells like blueberry muffin mix. Like what? And I was bugging out because like what a dream to have a protein that tastes like something that you freaking love, like blueberry muffin mix. And then not only that, you can really bake blueberry muffins with it, and everything that you make, whether it's the waffles, the pancakes, a blueberry pancake bowl that like I've been posting like crazy. My loaves, everybody knows, who follows me, they see my loaves all the time. I eat the hell out of these loaves. all these things that we make and do with devotion now suddenly taste like blueberry muffin mix. And it's like, it's crazy. And it's crazy that it's protein. And it's crazy that it's like the macros are like amazing. And like I make these blueberry loaves and they're 30 grams of protein and you get this big loaf and it tastes like a blueberry muffin. Like, what? So it was like a slower boom of a launch because at first people were like, I don't know. And then as people started to try it and bake with it and do all the things with it, it suddenly like took on a life of its own. So we first did it like a limited edition and we're about to be sold out. We're probably going to sell out by tonight from the first batch. I mean, and it's not even August yet. Like it's still like, what is it? July 29th that I'm recording this podcast. And wow. Like what? It's not even over yet. It's like summer's not even over. So we're gonna have some more, put some more in stock. And then I think, with the feedback, if that sells out too, shoot, man, like why would we get rid of something that people are going ham for? And that is so amazing. And that's not just a summer flavor. Let's be honest. Like gingerbread, like that one we did for holiday time. We sold out. We ran a nice big, batch of gingerbread. We sold it through the mid-fall all the way, like a few days after Christmas, sold out. And I was like, wow, the timing of that, every bag sold. And so we were like, cool, like, we'll bring it back next year if everybody loved it, but I'm not going to run more of it. Like, even though it was like selling like hotcakes, I was like, it's gingerbread. Like, let's keep that special. The blueberry, like I said, was going to be summer, but now I'm like, blueberry muffins we eat all year. So, I think, and it's so funny because I've gotten comments where people are like, just like, I will march outside Dana's house. We will rally. We will. Some of the reviews are hilarious where they're like, we gather at dawn to like, picket outside of Dana's house to make sure that this blueberry stays. Like they're so funny, but like, but I know blueberry is a winner. So I'm gonna guess we're gonna keep it around. We'll sell this one. We'll do another batch. We'll see how that sells, and then shoot. So there you go. There's that question. So check that off the list. All right. So your macros when you cut, maintain, etc., and your workout routine during each phase. Okay. First of all, my macros. So yeah, I track macros and I track loosely. I know I always say that. That's because I'm not super, super consistent right now. Right now, I'm kind of just maintaining my weight. I'm always working to just get better and better. Every now and then when I want to tighten things up is when I get real strict with my macros and I really try to hit them. I do track loosely all day where I make sure I'm aware of what I'm eating, that I'm hitting my protein. I try to do my macros where it's kind of like I do heavy on the protein. I like to at least get 135 to 155 grams of protein. And then I like to keep my fats around 40. I never drop lower because that is when I will have issues going to the bathroom. That's when my hormones will get wacky. That's when my skin and hair and all that stuff won't look as good. Fats are like so amazing. Like, I don't know why, people sometimes would get scared of fats. And I'm like, yeah, they're more calorically dense than carbs, but they are needed. And fats are, what helps with your digestion. I mean, there's so many benefits to fats. And like I said, like to keep like your skin supple and, we think of fat as like a lubricant, for your body too. And so I always try to keep my fats around minimum 40 grams. And then my carbs can go anywhere, and fats can go a little higher too. Like it's fine, but not too high for me because I like to fill in with carbs. I do really well with carbs. And so I like to at least get 135 grams to sometimes 200 grams of carbs because the thing is and sometimes higher. Honestly, sometimes refeeds, when I do refeeds or some nights that like some days where I'm just like, oh, F it. And I eat a whole bunch of rice cakes, or I'll eat big bowls of popcorn, and I'm doing that and I'm not necessarily tracking it, but like I'll loosely plug the stuff in and I'm like, whoa, I'm at like 225 grams of carbs. But then again, like that's when sometimes I look great. Carbs fill out your muscle bellies. And like when you see somebody really like fit and solid and hard, and you see these like beautiful muscles, those muscles are kind of being filled out by glycogen and by the carbs that you're feeding them. So a lot of times people will be afraid of carbs, and then they'll be like, well, I can't get that look. If you want that fitness look, like when you see my photos, like when I do my photo shoots and like I get these like beautiful bubbly like muscles where it's like you see like my delts coming out and my quads hard and like all that stuff, that's because I just ate a ton of carbs, because that's when muscles and your body looks so good. When I'm too flat and deflated, it's like, think of a balloon. If you take all the air out of it, the balloon's going to be like it's going to go like limp. But if you fill it up with all these carbs and water and all those things, the balloon has a big, beautiful shape. So like the fear behind these carbs, I eat lots of every day. I eat rice. We make potatoes. I've gotten back to eating pasta. It's like all these things that I used to fear, I mean, years ago. Now, like I'm staying in like killer shape and I'm eating like lots of carbs. And not only that, but it's making my energy's amazing with carbs. Oh, and I eat a lot of oatmeal, because I eat oat bran in the morning, and then I eat oatmeal in my like loaves and in our like banana cake and all of that. But anyway, my macros, like I said, I don't go lower than 1,500 calories a day ever. So if I'm cutting and keeping it tight, like I'll pull it in a little bit. But I think, I can go up to 1,800 cals. It just depends on what I'm doing. But I kind of start freaking out if I drop my cals too low, or if I'm doing too much exercise. You can start seeing it on my physique. And then I start getting this like weird, I don't want to say body dysmorphia, but I'm like, it's because not body dysmorphia, but I'm kind of like, ugh. It's like, first I want to be lean, but then I'm like, ew, now I'm looking too skinny. I need to see more muscle. So it's really playing around, because I start going like crazy in my head with like, I don't want to be too big, but I don't want to be too skinny. It's like that just right, like sweet spot of that really nice fit physique where I fill out my jeans nicely. I look great in workout pants. My delts are full. Like it's just, my stomach is flat and I've got like, my abs are defined. And like, I believe, even though on social media, they'll tell you, oh, you can't keep that all around. That's not sustainable. Well, bullshit. Like I do. And I have lots of energy. Nothing's suffering. My hair isn't falling out. My sex life is great. Like my energy is great. I do everything. I work out. Like I take care of my house. I do my business, and I still can keep some delts and some abs. Am I shredded to the point that I'm going to step on stage or that I'm freaking veiny? Like, no, but that's not really the look I want anyway. Because to be honest with you, like that's when my face gets too thin, and like I'll see people on social media where I'm like, okay, like you need to chill for a minute, because your face is like, I mean, their faces start getting so small, and like they look like diet face, and I'm like, okay, no, because at 45, like it makes you look older. And sometimes people don't realize, like, okay, well, you're working on your body, but like you're cutting your nose to spite your face. Now your body might look nice and lean and hard, but your face is making you look like you're 87. Like, what's going on? So it's like you've got to be careful, which is why I like to still keep in, like I said, the fats and some carbs and still look youthful. The fat on your face is going to help you look youthful. So if you get too lean and you just clear out the fat on your face, I mean, that's when all your skin hangs and you look like an old person. So, I mean, if we're just strictly talking aesthetics here. And then as far as the other part of your question, and your workout routine during each phase, my workout never changes during any phase. I still lift hard and heavy, and not necessarily heavy all the time. I switch it up. Sometimes I just like some volume. Sometimes like the heavy shit doesn't work for me all the time anymore. I end up aching and hurting and being a little too sore and all of that. But I like to switch it up with like higher reps. I'll do like 30 reps on the leg press, say with a 45 on each side, and I'll change my foot position each time, and I'll kind of hit the different areas of my legs. In some of the weight training classes I take, like I don't have to go ham. I'm not under a bar. Like it's whatever weight I can like carry over to my spot. So, but that mind muscle connection where you're really like thinking through the exercise and squeezing and really like trying to work that muscle. That's I try to continue to do that. And and you guys know I've been all natural as far as, not taking like anything for bodybuilding supplements or steroids. So it's like I don't put on some crazy amount of muscle. Nobody's ever been like, whoa, look at Dana, or like, holy shit. No, because naturally as a woman, what I can put on, I put on. And like, how much muscle can you really put on a year? And it's not like I'm ever doing an intentional bulk. Like I'm never like trying to just like slam in the food to like put on tons of muscle, because that's not really my thing or what I want anyway. So like I just still train hard. I challenge myself, but I don't switch up my workouts. Cardio, like I do if I'm in the mood. Like sometimes I'll just kill it on cardio. Sometimes I take 3 days off of cardio. Sometimes I just take a long walk. Sometimes I'll just do a Peloton ride, and I'm not even like crushing it on the Peloton, but I'm just keeping my body moving, lubing up my hips, like all of that. So but my macros, I haven't done anything like the carb cycling. I don't do any of that stuff these days. Every time I think I'm going to try it, I'm like, ugh, who cares? Like, I just try to keep my protein high, keep my fat where it needs to be, manipulate the carbs, make sure I get in enough, and that's good, So, but I think it's like, don't overthink it. Just do it and keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it, and that's where you're going to see the results with the consistency. There's really no magic macro number that's going to give you a certain look. It really has to be like your body, your goals, and all of that. But that's where I'm at with my macros. So I'd say like my average macros are like 135 or no, 155. I'd say I go higher on the protein, and then like 40 to 45 to 50 grams of fats. And then I'll go anywhere from 135 to like 200 carbs. Like, so I fluctuate. I mean, I'm being honest with you. Sometimes I'm just crushing food, and sometimes I'm pulling back, and and that's what I do. It's not like perfect. I'm not perfect, and I love, I eat off my plan all the time. All right. So another one. Getting out of a rut when you have been in shape before. Signed, chunky but funky. Getting out of a rut when you've been in shape before. Yeah, that's tough. Like you hear from people all the time, men and women. Oh, I used to be in such great shape. Oh, I was on it. I was doing my thing. I was at the gym. I weighed this. I looked like this. I was size this. And, and you hear that. And then they're like, well, and then I just fell off, and I stopped this, and I started eating, or my life got busy, or I had kids and I got stressful. You hear it all the time. You guys know what I'm talking about. I'm sure you have people in your life, stress, maybe it's you, who like, who go through that, and they talk about the old days when they were in shape, and remember when I did this and I was in great shape. And it's like, first of all, sometimes you just have to kind of like cut the crap and just be like, what was I doing back then? Well, why couldn't I sustain it? Yes, maybe you were in great shape back then, but why couldn't you sustain it? So then it's not sustainable for your life. But yes, you should get back into shape because obviously it made you feel good, or obviously it's something that you want. But now you have to find that happy place of like, okay, well, maybe you were in shape and you didn't have 3 kids, or maybe you were in shape and you didn't work crazy hours at your job or whatever. Well, then how can you still get back to where you feel good and not have to talk about the glory days? How can you, find that sweet spot again that you can then not only get results, but you can maintain? And I really feel that that's like now taking a look at your life now and how is it different from then? And then why couldn't you stay with what was keeping you in shape back then? Like, oh, I used to be in shape. Well, what were you doing? Well, if you were like, well, I was going 7 days a week to the gym, I was doing 2 hours of cardio, I was weight training, I was eating like this, I was making grilled chicken. Okay, well, that's great, but like you didn't sustain that. You couldn't maintain that. So, what can you do now to maintain, and where can you start implementing the gym, but doing it at like a reasonable amount of times a week? Like if you say, I can realistically get to the gym 3 mornings a week, I've got my kids, I'm going to drop them at school, and then I'm going to go to the gym, and I'm going to try to do that 3 days a week. And I'm telling you that if you're consistent with that, and then you say, okay, I've got to now really, I was eating healthier, now I eat on the go, now I just snack and I graze and I pick and I do all this. Okay, so now you've got to say, well, what can I do? Can I meal prep once a week? Can I make my loaves? Can I come up with like these fun little hacks? I mean, that's what I've loved with devotion, was that I found these hacks and these things that take 2 minutes in the morning of my busy morning, but I'm still getting in protein. Or I make my loaf. Like I was on my way to my podcast and I'm like, oh my God, I have to go. Like I've got to record at 1:00. Okay, so I grab a loaf. I'm on my way. And meanwhile, I'm eating 30 grams of protein, and I made 8 loaves the other day. They're all in my fridge. And now I just made a great decision, and I don't have to go hunting for some other option, and that I'll probably regret. So it's like, yeah, you're going to have to like come up with a plan, and like it can be starting small. It doesn't have to be where you're like, now I'm just going to go ham again. It's like, no, like realistically carve out the time that you can put into getting back in shape, but then just be consistent with it. Just be consistent with what you came up with. And then as you succeed and as you like stack the wins of I'm making my loaf every day, or I'm, packing chicken and whatever, and I'm bringing my yogurt and I'm doing my stuff, or like whatever the things that you want to do, and I'm going to the gym. So then you add on something else. Then you're like, you know what? I'm also going to do 2 long walks every week. Whatever it is that you can then, and then ask yourself, can I maintain this? Can I maintain this? Like, am I biting off more than I can chew? Do what you can maintain, add from that, and you will see success. But by doing nothing, that's certainly not going to get you anywhere. And talking about the past without really looking at the past and what you were doing, it's just going to make you reminisce over something that like, is it realistic for you now? Or is it just looking at the glory days when your life was different? And now you've got to look at like, okay, this is what it looked like back then. This is what it needs to look like now. So I think it's just, it's keeping it real with yourself. That is key. Because my life keeps changing and I keep having to alter. I used to wake up at 5 a.m. and do cardio at like, a handful of mornings, like 5 days a week, when my kids were babies. Well, once my kids stopped being babies and they could dress themselves, and my life was different, and okay, I didn't have to do that anymore. Now I do cardio at a different time of day, but I adjust. I find where's a good spot for me. Same thing with the food. Like I used to love prepping certain things, and then sometimes you burn out of certain things. So, I adjust. I find something else that I really love. So like now it's like I used to make the cinnamon loaves, and then I made the caramel loaves, and now I make blueberry loaves. And it's just like, okay. And like now you've got these like loaves on rotation. And during holiday, I was making gingerbread loaves. And I talk about the loaves because the loaves are my version of like fast food to go. My loaves are my thing. I show them all the time because it's like, you can slap on some nut butter with those loaves, and holy cow, you've got like the perfect meal on the go. Or you can even add, your own flax or chias or whatever you want. But man, those loaves are just a game changer, because oftentimes in a busy life, because, I make my oat bran and my devotion in the morning. And I put blueberries in it, and I put some nut butter. And so it's like, great, there's my first meal. But then when you're off to the races, you need something else to grab. And I don't always have time, but in the afternoon, then I throw some lean ground beef into a bowl, and I put some rice, and I'll put a red pepper. And so I always try to make my meals, and I'll eat some Brazil nuts. So I always try to make my meals protein, carbs, fats, vegetable, fruit, all those things. And like, I know you hear it a bunch of times and it sounds so like, yeah, I know it's vegetables, fruit, protein, but it's like, yeah, that's what it is. Like everybody says it because that's the truth. It's how we need to eat. And, and I don't do any hokey bad diets or anything like that. It's a lifestyle. That's what devotion is. It's a lifestyle. It's how to fit more protein into your healthy lifestyle, because I believe that we all need lots of muscle, and muscle grows with protein and carbs and fats and all those things. So it's like, there you go. Supplements. Somebody just wrote the word supplements, and I started using creatine. I'm going to do a devotion creatine because I feel so strongly. I'm sourcing a really great quality creatine, and I've been doing 5 grams a day for a long time now, and I'm feeling great. So that's something I love glutamine. Love it or hate it. Maybe you don't like it. Maybe people think whatever. I love glutamine. I feel like it has helped me with my gut lining, my tissue lining. Glutamine heals me faster. My immune system has felt strong, and I've been doing glutamine for over a decade. I love glutamine. I'm also going to do a devotion glutamine. There's something about it that when I'm taking glutamine, I just feel better. My tissues heal faster. My gut feels better. And I love glutamine. So, and I don't have a crazy supplement regimen. I do take something called Harmony. Oh my God, what is it called? Something Harmony. Anyway, it's to help your hormones. I've been taking it. I started taking it to help my periods. I'm 45. I'm still getting consistent periods. I'm not in menopause or anything. So my periods have always sucked. Oh my God, what is it called? I don't know. I'll put it in the show notes when I get home. But it's a really great supplement, and somebody suggested to me a long time ago, and it makes my periods light. I don't have all the cramps and the bloating and the mess, and my period's gone in like 2 days, and I'm like, holy crap, because I used to be like a 10-day person where it was just I went through hell. So I take that, and what else do I take? Oh, I take omegas. And I take magnesium. I've started taking a magnesium complex. Again, I'm going to be making one for devotion. What I've been taking for a long time is what I'm redoing the wellness line, and I'm actually going to run the stuff that I take. So I'm doing omegas. I'm doing an immune defense, a vitamin DK, magnesium complex. I love magnesium. Magnesium I take before bed. I'm doing the glutamine. I'm doing the creatine. I'm doing what I feel have been the most effective and the least amount of bullshit supplements, the things that I have found that I take that help me. And because I'm tired of buying 1,000 different things, hoping that they work. I'm not doing that anymore. I take the things that I know our bodies need. I know we need vitamin D. I know we need the magnesium, the omegas. I love the creatine. I love glutamine. So, I mean, these are things that they're not hokey to me. Like, take it or leave it. But I am going to bring it into the devotion line because I do want more of an all one-stop shop for women who do want those things. It's not like these are things I just started taking. These are things that have been part of my lifestyle. And I've been posting about my lifestyle for a decade now on social media. And I think I have a pretty good track record. I think I've improved. Like, I keep showing up, feeling great, looking great, all the things. And I just want to have those tools readily available for other people. So, that's how I feel about supplements. Some of the other stuff I don't take pre-workout. I find that to be a little hokey. I did it for a little while here and there. Greg and I would sometimes be like, let's get fired up. I don't drink energy drinks. Although every now and then we'll crush an energy drink. I prefer coffee. So that's the only reason. If you like an energy drink here and there, cool. But I don't do the pre-workouts anymore. they're just not for me. I don't know. I kind of outgrew it at 45 years old. The least amount of extra crap I put in my body. Also, some companies I don't really trust their stuff. So, just to shake stuff up and feel my face tingle and get a pump, like, I don't chase the pump anymore in the gym. Like, I'm just a woman who wants to put on some good muscle and all of that. The coffee kind of helps give me that little go that I need. Plus, I just love coffee. It's like my emotional support beverage. So, yeah, that, and then, yeah, I don't know. There's not too much else that I am taking on the daily. I'm really trying to think if there's anything else, but not really, not anything that I'm consistent. Every now and then, like, I'll get multivitamin gummies or something at the grocery store, and I'll just be like, whatever. But like, I don't really stick with that. Okay. Let's see where else we are. Can you talk about senior fitness, getting the most impact in a short time? Maybe your mom can join. Yeah, you know what? That's interesting. I want to have my mom on again soon. My mom is 72. She's so freaking phenomenal. She's in great shape. She's still, she trains with Maria Redmond, who I've had on the podcast quite a few times. She's always at it. She's obsessed with the blueberry loaves. She never gives up. She's always, prepping her food, doing her thing, doing her cardio. Every time we talk, I'm like, "Ma, get on your cardio, do your stairs." I mean, this woman is just, she's just awesome. And the fact that she doesn't give up on the healthy lifestyle and all the stuff. My mom lifts hard and heavy. She lifts as heavy as she can. At 72, she wants to maintain as much muscle as she can. And let me tell you, like, you see it in her. She walks in high heels. She's not hunched. You don't see any osteoporosis. You don't see any slouching. All you see when you see her is this like young looking body, because she has kept it firm and she pushes herself and she walks and it's like, if they always say, like, if you don't move it, you lose it, or whatever, or like, move it or lose it. Yeah. If you don't move the weights, if you don't get the cardio, you'll lose it. You'll start to deteriorate, because that's what the human body is going to do. That's what anything's going to do. It's going to get older. It's going to get rusty. It's going to all that. But if you use it and you are really, my mom keeps her back strong. She keeps her biceps strong, her legs strong. She's doing all the things. Why should she lose it then? She's not. She's eating protein. She eats, she eats her fish. She eats her turkey. She's always prepping all the protein stuff. She makes all her devotion stuff. She's just at it. She looks great. She feels great. Every now and then at 72, she'll say to me, "Oh God, Dane, I'm tired." And I'm like, "Mom, you're 72. Like, it's okay to be tired. Take a rest." Or sometimes I'm like, "Mom, I'm 45 and I'm tired." So, like, look, we all get tired. We're going. But like, I'm like, "Ma, you're 72 and she's helping my brother sometimes with his kids, and he's got a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, and she's over there feeding them and chasing them and taking them to the pool." I'm like, "Mom, you're doing more than some like women in their 20s. Like, look at you, and you're 72. Like, she's such a little firecracker." So senior fitness is no different than any other age if you do it right. I mean, go for your walks. If you do have like injuries or back problems, that's a different story, but like, know your limits and then go for it. Like, like my mom does have degenerative disc disease and she does have back pain. So yeah, there'll be some things that she's like, "Look, I can't do that, or I can't do that, but I will do this." And I will, so she does tweak her her regimen or she'll, like, I'll do things that maybe my mom's not doing, but that's okay. She's doing what she can do. And there's very little that she will shy away from when it comes to staying fit. And I give her so much credit just for pushing and going because it shows in the quality of her life now. I mean, my mom is just so capable, and it's awesome to see her at 72 just be like that. So I will have my mom on again. We'll have another fun chat, but she'll tell you what I'm telling you. She's like, "Yeah, I'm at it. I'm going at it," All right. So let me see. Let me see. How soon after birth did you have your diastasis recti fixed? Okay. So yeah, I gave birth to twins, and I had a severe diastasis recti. My stomach hung over. My abs were separated probably 2 inches or more. I held my twins all in the front. So the bigger they grew, and I took them to almost 38 weeks, the bigger they grew, the more and more my abs separated. And your abs are held by like this, it's almost like saran wrap behind them. And once you give birth, it's not, it's like if you overstretch saran wrap, it's not coming back. It just, so when I gave birth, obviously my stomach still was full and big, but it was like weeks and weeks and weeks went by, and my stomach was still just hanging and hanging. And so I went to a doctor, and they were like, yeah, this isn't going to fix itself. You're going to end up with back problems, all of that. And so I got my stomach fixed when the twins were 7 months. So I stayed with that, big hanging over belly and my separated abs for 7 months. I breastfed them for 5 months, 5.5 months. I was pumping and breastfeeding and all of that. And so finally I was like, look, I can't take this anymore. I was like, my stomach, I had to wear a girdle thing to hold in my stomach. I was always wearing big blousy things. And so they were, finally I went to a plastic surgeon, and I was like, I need this fixed. Now, my first surgery though was botched. I've done episodes on that before. It was botched. They did not sew me up all the way. So I was sewn up right above my belly button, and really my abs tore all the way up into my chest, like the entire abdominal wall tore. And unfortunately, the first doctor only sewed me up about halfway. So this top of my stomach still bulged out. And I was like, what is going on? Like, why does my stomach still look like this? And another doctor was like, yeah, you got botched there. Like, you should have been. So I had a second surgery. I was reopened again. They went all the way back up. They sewed me like a corset from all the way from the top to the bottom of my abs, sewn them back together. And yeah, and then, fixed my stomach for me. I had a hernia from the twins. So it wasn't a pretty, it was a terrible surgery. It was so freaking painful. Oh my God. I never want to do that again, but I had to do it. It's just, there's no way I could have lived like that. And so I'm glad I did. But yeah, they were 7 months. And then the second time, maybe they were 15 months or something like that. So, yeah, I had to wait, a little bit. I think maybe even they were 2. I mean, it was a little while before I could find time again to fix it, but I just, I had to. Okay. Somebody else wrote, did you ever imagine Devotion would blow up the way it did? Oh my God. That's an awesome question. Did I ever imagine it? Yeah, I imagined it. I dreamed it. Oh my God, I manifested it. I worked really, 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 really hard for it. So did I ever imagine Devotion would blow up the way that it did? You know what? What I feel, I haven't even scratched the surface with what I want to do with Devotion. I mean, I love where it's at. I used to feel like I just was like in the ocean screaming by myself, like, hey, try my stuff. Like, seriously, imagine if you're in the middle of the woods or in the middle of the ocean and you just want people to hear you. And I just felt, being on social media and like, is anyone listening? And being a woman-owned brand amongst a male-dominated industry where I didn't know if people were going to take me or my product serious. I wasn't famous. I wasn't a pro. I wasn't anything other than like a woman who, had an idea, a mission, a goal, and I wanted to solve this problem for myself. And then I developed this like awesome product that I was like, oh, this is too good to not sell to other people, to help other people, and like, obviously I couldn't just make samples for everybody. I had to turn it into a business. And so I had hoped it would blow up because I knew that if it blew up, it would help a lot of people. And to be honest, like a lot through the years, people would always say to me, why aren't you a trainer? Or why aren't you a coach? But I can impact a lot more people selling devotion as a tool. I mean, when I think of how many orders, I mean, we've sold hundreds of thousands of orders of devotion and tubs and bags and all the things that we've done now. And now with our hydration, it's like, there's no way I could have coached hundreds and thousands. I mean, maybe, I guess if you just scale it, but not work one-on-one like that and not touch that many lives. And now I'm able, for coaches now can use devotion as a tool, and then they can help their people. So it's a ripple effect, really. And like, that is so fulfilling to me, because I know the pain of trying to find something, a tool to help you. And then I know the feeling of success and like finding something that you love and you're like, oh my God, I love this. I can stick to this. So I want that for others. So, did I ever imagine? Yeah, but I didn't know how long it was going to take. I still have a long way I want to go. There's still millions of people to help and do and, and all that. And and I believe it'll happen. I believe there have been different tipping points where all of a sudden I was like just hoping and praying to be here, and then I'm hoping and praying to be here, and then and that's. But right now, I appreciate every single day that my company can stay in business and help people and thrive, and I can pay my employees to do great job, and that they love their job and they're passionate, and so it's just like it's been a fun experience for me. It's been very fulfilling. And I'm so proud of Devotion as a brand and what we've been able to accomplish. And I had no doubt it would eventually, like my mom used to say to me, like, just wait, like you'll hit your tipping point. Like eventually it's just enough people will have heard about it and enough people will talk about it and enough people will post about it that all of a sudden it will catch on and people will be like, let me try this stuff. And that's what happened. I mean, I just had to keep planting the seeds and sowing the garden. And eventually, like, boom, it just blossomed. And so yeah, we're in a good spot. We're in a really good spot. And I'm just so proud of the brand and what we've been able to do. So, yeah, so that's been great. All right, let's see. Time-wise, I've got a little bit more time for wedding plans. Oh, wedding plans. So yeah, Greg and I want to have a wedding. And life is so busy and planning a wedding is so crazy. And Greg and I really want to do something phenomenal for our wedding. And it's important to him. I had a wedding with my first husband. What a waste of money. But I would love to have a wedding for Greg and for me. I mean, I want to celebrate our love and our commitment and all of that. But I really think it's important for Greg. Greg has a lot of really great people in his life. And I would love to bring all those people together and for us to celebrate, and really like a wedding with Greg just has so much meaning. Oh my God. Like we are so in love and so good together. And so like, it's like that type of wedding makes sense, and it's like, yeah, like we really want to bring people together to be like, hey, like we found each other and we've got a great thing and this is awesome. And like, so to me, this wedding makes sense, but right now it's been like a little crazy in life with life, and Greg's working so hard and I'm working so hard, and I'm like, okay, I guess we could hire a wedding planner. And to be honest, like we don't want that cookie cutter wedding where it's like, okay, everyone comes together, there's a rehearsal dinner, and then there's a wedding ceremony, and then there's a brunch on Sunday and everybody goes home. So our dream is to have a wedding at this like incredible ranch that we went to one summer that we fell in love with, and it's out west, and it would be like this like Western wedding. And the ranch is really cool because there's like horseback riding and gun shooting and like all these like great activities. And we really want to do that. But the whole thing is with this ranch, it's a bitch to get to. Like you have to fly into Denver and then you have to rent a car and then you have to drive 3 hours. Once you get there, you're like, this is dope. I'm so glad I came. But we're like, okay, how many people would really show up to it, to the middle of Wyoming for us? We're hoping that they would. But, but like that would be a really special, different experience for a wedding for us. So we've toyed around about it, and then we're kind of like, well, when would we do it? And so that's really what we'd want. Now, granted, we live in South Florida, so I'm sure lots of people would be happy as hell to be invited to a South Florida wedding. I'm sure it'd be great. We could do something, with the beach or a beach club or whatever, and that would be great. But again, it's going back to more of that cookie cutter wedding style that everybody does, and I don't really know that we want to do that. Like I would love to just do like I said, like cowboy boots and jeans and we have like a live band and we have a bonfire and we're doing a cookout and we all just hang and have fun and dance. And so like that's what I'd love to do. So I don't know yet when it's all going to come together. But celebrating our union with a wedding party, man, that'd be great. So we'll maybe next summer. Maybe I got to start pulling it together. Maybe I just have to, I'm like Greg, like if we had a wedding, if we hire a wedding planner and somebody else does it, then it's not resting on us. But right now, like we start to think about it and we're like, oh my God, that's such an undertaking. Like, where do we begin? But I'm going to reach out to that ranch and kind of see what it would entail and we'll see. And so maybe we'll pull it together, but I would love some beautiful wedding pictures with Greg. And I would love to, have a ceremony with us, celebrating something like that's so truly amazing. Like so truly amazing. Like we are so good. And I can't imagine my life without him. So we shall see. All right, let's see. Is there anything else on here that's there's one that says about your competitions that were done in the past. Yeah, I competed in figure. I competed a handful of times, maybe 6 or 7 or 8 times over 10 years. I did once before kids, and then I competed after kids. And I could do a whole episode on competitions and what I did and how it was and how I feel like it affected my life. I've done that before. We called it hanging up the heels because it was like when you're over it, you're over it. And I didn't just hang up the heels. I put them in the garbage. Like I was done with competing. So I could definitely do a whole episode on that because I have competed. I still have all my suits and all that shit. And it was a whole thing. Did it mold me into the person I am today? Absolutely. Taught me a lot of discipline, taught me how to, push my limits and what I'm capable of. But do I really like the competition world and what it does to your mind and your body? No. I don't think it's a healthy thing. I wouldn't put it this way. If my daughter said, Mom, we want to compete in bikini or figure or anything like that, I would say no. I would not be supportive of it. I don't feel that it's a healthy thing for the mind. It screws you up. And when I mentioned earlier about like having a little bit of that body dysmorphia, when you work that hard and get that lean and then you see your body at that shape, it's real hard to accept that that's not the norm or that you can't stay there or the work that it would take to stay there or that it's not healthy to stay there. And that's really, really difficult for a lot of women when they put their body through that. Sometimes they push it so hard they lose their menstrual cycle. Sometimes they push so hard they screw up their hormones. They screw up their metabolism. They don't. I never reversed properly, so I gained 30 pounds back after so many of my competitions until I finally got it right. But yeah, I had to go through hell in order to get there, and that was really difficult. So do I wish that on anyone? No. I think you could look freaking fly. You could look gorgeous. You could look fit as a fiddle, and you don't have to go through the hell of competing in a bikini on stage and then competing. It's such a weird thing. it's like you're competing against other women, which that goes against what I do now. Like, I'm supporting other women. I don't want to compete against you. I want you to be the best you. I want me to be the best me. And then I used to stand on stage with women, girls, whatever. I'm like 35. I had 3 kids. I had diastasis recti surgery. I breastfed. I did all these things. And like, I'm competing against women who never even had kids, who have insane genetics, who never went through what I did. And then a panel of judges is judging, is my body better than her body? Oh, okay. And then they're telling me her body's better than yours. And I'm like, really? Like, I just gave birth to 3 kids. I had a set of twins. I went through surgery. I've lost now 80 pounds. But yeah, I'm subjecting myself to be judged against a girl who is half my age, who all she has is all day to work out and diet. And now you're telling me I'm not as good as her. I'm like, whoa. So no, like, competing to me wasn't mentally like a healthy thing. Cause here I am like sacrificing all of this with my kids and my time and my energy and everything. And then I'm like, I'm going to go compete against a girl who I'm not on the same playing field as her. And yeah, I did masters too. And I competed against older women and all of that. But again, some of them had their kids 20 years ago, or they, were older, but they never had kids, or they were older. But they're just at a different muscle maturity than I was. So it was like, and again, I never took steroids or drugs or ever to compete. So I wasn't on the same playing field as somebody who's taking them. And if that's your journey to take them, that's great. That's fine. I'm not judging you. You can do whatever you want, but like, I didn't. So then I'd be standing there and I'm like, dude, I can never get my delts that big. I can never be that hard and dry. I could never get my ass to look like that. Like, are you kidding me? Look what their butts look like. Like, I can't. Like, and I'm not saying that as an excuse, like I can't, but I'm like, my genetics and what I'm capable of, and with having 3 kids and a business and all the stuff. So and then that takes a toll on your self-confidence, because then you're like, oh, I'm not as good as these other people. When really, in hindsight, yeah, I'm great. I'm great. Like, look what I'm accomplishing over here. So I threw in the heels, and I ended up doing fitness photo shoots. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to be in a photo shoot with me. And like, and I ended up loving those pictures more than standing on stage, a stage shot. Like, I look like that for 5 minutes. But when I do my fitness photo shoots, I actually look like that. Like, I actually stay 2-3 weeks away from shoot. Like, like I can just tighten it up in a week or 2 and throw on a fitness outfit and do a photo shoot. And that's a true representation of me and what I'm capable of, not me stepping on stage doing a prep, not real life. So when you see a photo of me in my fitness stuff, that's really what I look like walking around, or it's what I look like if I tighten up my macros for 2 weeks. It's not some unrealistic stage shot that I had to bust my ass for 20 weeks to accomplish. So I ended up hanging up the heels and saying, you know what, the competition life isn't for me. I don't want to compete against anybody. I don't want to push my body to those limits, but I'll celebrate my fitness with some photo shoots. So that's what I do now. I haven't done a shoot in a long time. I think it's been a year since I've done a shoot. I think a year. Yeah. I went out to California last year to shoot for my cookbook cover and all of that. So it's been a year. And so I might just get back. And I feel like I'm in better shape than I was last year. So yeah, I might get back out there again. I'm 45 now. Why not? But that's the route that I would go. So if that was a question because you want to hear about competing, I can certainly talk about competing. But my advice to you is set a goal, do a photo shoot, and celebrate your fitness. Celebrate the body that you're working so hard to sculpt and to nurture and to maintain. Not a body that you will feel like Cinderella, that it's, turns into the pumpkin at midnight. That's how I always felt about it. So, all right, you guys, that's it. I think, there's one more. Oh, somebody, you know what? I'm going to save some of these for another episode. Because yeah, we could definitely go on and on with some of these questions, but these are great. These have been great. Anytime that I put that in, please feel free to drop. I'm seeing if there's any others that have come in. All right, I'll save some of these for the next episode, but you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for dropping the questions. Thanks for wanting to know a little bit about my life and keeping an open mind to some of the way that I live my lifestyle. And thanks for being devoted and all the things that you guys are. I love my devotion family and my Until It's Done listeners. So I appreciate you guys. All right. Well, have a great day. And thanks for listening to another episode of Until It's Done, a devoted podcast.